Right, why are the fighters and the general MMA mainstream starting to come round to the MMA Guru and even seem to be starting to chase him? You've probably recently seen the MMA Guru interviewing or being interviewed by high-profile UFC fighters. This is not, as many have suspected, some sort of make-a-wish scheme for a paraplegic, morbidly diabetic superfan. On the contrary, and it marks a change in the tide and a move away from traditional style MMA media and towards a more authentic, unpolished coverage of the sport. I mean, who are you going to relate to more? Triple C or Double D? The MMA Guru is now essentially one of the biggest names in non-mainstream MMA. But 5 or 6 years ago, he was just a fresh-faced little guru that had found a way to share his passion for MMA. Over time, what separated him from many was his consistency and dedication to his channel, creating interesting formats to cover the sport and creating a strong community. What started as a bit of self-deprecating humour in his early videos grew and evolved into a culture of collaborative shit-talking and friendly trolling between him and his community. As his channel grew, so did his notoriety, and sweet little baby guru would begin to get the occasional mention. In the beginning, it was just a few waspy fighters, not happy with the criticism that they'd seen from him. He would just be giddy with the fact that he'd been mentioned, in fairness as many of us would. As the growth continued, the feuds began. Luke Thomas, Mark Goddard, Michael Bisping, Ariel Helwani and more. One of his highlights is his beef with Ariel. After making a number of videos tearing Ariel a new one, Ariel refuses to even mention his name, adding fuel to the fire and of course making it all worse for himself. The Guru was the main catalyst behind the casual MMA fans becoming aware of Adesanya's penchant for all things canine, as well as the fact that Izzy pretends to have grown up poor when in fact had servants. MMA fans as a whole seem to be split on the Guru, some finding his harsh takes and views alienating, while others finding his aggressive rants hilarious. Originally, most saw the negativity and toxicness and took it all seriously. Not just his loyal fan base, but a wider audience are now catching on to the fact that the shit talk is just that, and the Guru takes the piss out of the fighters that he likes as much as the ones he doesn't. And he also encourages it being directed at himself. Watch a few videos and you'll quickly see that he's an avid fan of the sport. The shift really started gaining momentum when Dricus du Plessis did an interview with him. The MMA Guru had Dricus' back when he was being accused of racism, and it was obviously appreciated. The interview led to the Guru being invited to South Africa to meet with Dricus. Surprisingly to most, Guru took him up on that offer and began to pack up his shed. And it was in South Africa that the MMA Guru broke the MMA internet, revealing that he was in fact only crippled in spirit, and in fact stood at a lofty 5'11" and 300 pounds of muscle. There are rumours that when he was in South Africa, 3 villages completely lost power, as the energy used by the computers for the AI to generate the visuals of the in fact crippled Guru standing and even training on the pads was just too much, causing the networks to fail. But this has since been denied. The visit and its reaction in the community seems to have now unlocked the doors. Money Moicano actually called him out in his in-cage post-fight interview. The two had been in communication before, but this then set up an interview on Moicano's channel. Cleverly, Moicano used the Guru's clout on YouTube to actually help boost his own new channel, which worked. And it has also set a precedent for other fighters paying attention. They're starting to realise the power that he has. And I'm not talking about the kilowatts in his electric chair, and it makes sense for them to get in on it early. He even went on Demetrius Johnson's channel for another interview. One thing to note is that he seems to be quickly getting better at these interviews. At first he was more awkward than a Strickland face-off, but in the last few, particularly with DJ and Moicano, they were actually really good interviews. And it's all proving to other fighters the value of reaching these passionate fan bases on YouTube. Even longtime foe Bisping recently talked about him positively in a video, which seems to be a massive turning point. One risk the Guru faces, if he does continue to move into the mainstream spotlight, his prejudice for some fighters like the Dagestanis could become a problem, with a number of extreme rants easy to find. But assuming he dodges that little minefield, I think overall this is a good direction for the sports coverage. Commentary from insiders is often predictable. The authenticity and freedom to say anything is appreciated by fans. The more corporate feeling shows with sets and presenting are seeming more and more corny, and it's easier to relate to just another fan. If this current trend of fighters accepting the Guru continues, it'll be interesting to see how this progresses, and if Ariel will ever have to actually speak his name aloud. Moicano recently went on Ariel's show and actually mentioned the MMA Guru to Ariel, to which Ariel just ended the show. And with the anti-guru side of the MMA media, there should also be plenty of entertainment along the way. Love him or hate him, he's one of the godfathers of modern MMA YouTube, and he's not going anywhere. Anyway, if you like this video, check out this playlist of recent bangers, and I'll see you next time.